So when it comes to hunting the mountains, we're now into late August, which means for us, get up high, get into goat country. Let's hit the bush. At any minute, these clouds are gonna lift, the sky is gonna open up, and the goats are just gonna be everywhere. You know, you come to a place like this and you work to get in here, and then you're getting to look at goats, and it's just spectacular. So when it comes to hunting the mountains, we're now into late August, which means for us, get up high, get into goat country. We've got the sheep behind us, now it's goats, moose is to come, second favorite species to hunt in the mountains. We're gonna head up this drainage behind us, get into some spectacular country, and see what we can find. I see a goat, but it's a long way away. Decent sized body. It's got a good deep chest, but it's against a really dark background, so I can't see its horns really at all. The distance is it's just too far. It's definitely not what we're looking for. So I've had a chance to look at this goat for a while, and it's moved around enough that I think that I'm confident in saying that it's a young billy. It's still a long way away, but it's by itself. You know, I can see the weight on the bases. I don't think it's got long horns, and its face isn't really long, so it kind of, all indications are that it's young. But we'll get closer and we'll take a good look at it and make sure that, you know, my assessment is right. Let's hit the bush. Blueberries are good now. It's just a bit of a hike through the bush, and you know, I'm constantly trying to stop, and am I taking the best route that will give us the cleanest and quickest line through? And number two is still be able to see animals if they are out in the open. You lose so much perspective of what is above you, being below it, and especially in a steep drainage. I think I'm right behind the tree on it. Generally speaking, why I love to get high and stay high. I think it's right behind the tree on me right now. You know, we have a bit of a direction of travel, and I think that, you know, heading up the drainage is a good idea right now. Obviously, like I said, we just lose terrain and we lose the ability to spot anything that's up high. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Pretty steep. So the thing about goat country here in the Yukon is, generally speaking, you've got to go from the bottom, do a lot of bush bashing, and then get up into the alpine. We're hours into it now, and we are not in the alpine yet, but it seems like it's a stone throw away. So the thing about goat hunting that is unique and that no other game animal in North America gives you is the vertical, beautiful places like no other. Like, I love sheep hunting, but when it comes to steep, rock, bush, just inhospitable terrain, goat hunting is number one. There's nothing else that tops it or compares to it in that regard. You get to hike in places like this in pursuit of an amazingly tough animal, and just enjoying the beauty of it all is so special. This is amazing. So this is absolutely beautiful. We've got this amphitheater with a waterfall coming down the middle of it. So spectacular, unbelievable country. That's why I love goat hunting. This is just like, I can't stop smiling. So there's a nanny and a yearling, and then there's another nanny, and she's got probably a 2-3-year-old at best, Billy, with her. So just a young guy. It's pretty cool. This is a nanny I'm looking at right here, and wow, she's beautiful. You know, you come to a place like this and you work to get in here, and then you're getting to look at goats, and you know, it's the perfect time of the evening to look for a camping spot, and kind of the first great camping spot that, or flat spot that we've come across really, and just spectacular. Okay, let's go find them. Spent a little bit of time here glassing around, got a little bit of elevation and can see really, really well, and haven't picked up any billies, so we're gonna pack her up and head back to camp and make a game plan for tomorrow morning. So set up camp last night in about as good a place as you could ever ask for in the mountains. Creek right beside us, nice flat spot. The goats that put us to bed last night, they've seemed to have moved off. Looking forward to getting the boots moving and seeing what we can find in these hills. Spent a bit of time this morning just glassing this drainage. I think I've looked it over pretty good. It's that fine line between, you know, spending too much time glassing and not enough. So we're just going to continue to move up out of this drainage, up through a call, and then down over into the next one. And we'll just keep methodically pulling it apart. You know, you're looking for a big lone billy. One goat can hide anywhere in here, and all it takes is, you know, 2 steps and it's behind a rock and you never see it again. So it's just picking it apart and see what we come up with. So some pretty exciting changes have happened in the last hour. We came up through this saddle, got a view of this new drainage, and it wasn't probably 10 minutes before I picked up a goat. It was bedded down, facing straight away. And then as he turns his head, you could tell that it was a billy. So it looks like it's a really decent goat. We're still a mile away. Now we got to pack up, try to get a little bit closer. The terrain is going to be challenging as far as getting a shot, because where he's at. We'll go down the drainage. I might even, you know, get below him and take a shot uphill like we did a couple of years ago on our goat. We'll see how it goes. Coming down off the saddle, the goat got up and it's feeding now, so it's kind of in and out of the bush. But I have a pretty good sense as to where it is. I don't see it right now. So we're not running off the mountain, but we're just slowly picking our way down and trying to keep an eye on where he is. Generally speaking, when he pops out, you know, identify what rock he's close to and then just keep going, and then he disappears again, and just kind of, it's a bit of a cat and mouse game right now. So there he is right there. He's about 1,000 yards out now, and just feeding up there. Hasn't moved a whole lot actually in the last 10 minutes. So just gonna kind of make our way down here underneath this rock band, and hopefully we're not exposed to him too much, and I can keep peeking out and see where he is. It's almost like we should maybe wait till he beds down. Oh, he's moving. I watched him walk out of sight about, I think, a half an hour ago now, and it wasn't a feeding pace, so he was walking, and just gonna try to get angle on him from the other side of this mountain. So our beautiful morning, it turned into a not so beautiful afternoon for a number of reasons. That goat walked out of sight, and all I can think is that it walked straight up the mountain and over top, because we've been sitting here for hours thinking that possibly it bedded down in the bushes, or, you know, was feeding in the bushes and you just couldn't see. But, you know, more and more angle trying to get on the hillside, and I just don't believe that it's there anymore. I think it went up and over the top. We're gonna head back up the valley where we came from, get back to that call, and maybe head up to the top of this mountain and see if we can't see anything, depending on the weather, of course. We are in a great spot for glassing. Only there's no glassing to be had. So we've been hunkered down here for the last an hour for sure, without the ability to see anything. At any minute, these clouds are gonna lift, the sky is gonna open up, and the goats are just gonna be everywhere. We are in a great position to be able to take advantage of the ability to see a lot when it happens. So when it clears up, we're gonna be in the right spot. But until then, I think I got almost every piece of clothing on. September 1st, why wouldn't it snow? 10 minutes ago, it opened up a little bit, and I was able to see down into this drainage. I picked up 4 goats. We're out of daylight for the most part to be able to go and try to get that tonight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head off the mountain, and we're gonna come back tomorrow, back up to the top of this mountain, down into this drainage, and go and see if we can't get eyes on them again tomorrow. So we know what our game plan is for tomorrow, so we're gonna head back to camp now and come back at it. We're hiking up out of the valley, and we picked what I think is the most gentle route. Gentle in quotations because it's super steep. But coming up through here, you look at the tops of, you know, a lot of these plants, and there's goat hair all through it. Pretty cool to see, because there's a lot of it here. So that's an indication of, you know, the goats that are in this area. So we pushed up out of the valley this morning. Great hike, perfect temperature for it. You know, you get up top and it's a little bit chillier, but we got some fresh snow on the top of the mountains here to the east of us. Right away, once I got up here, took a look across, and there's a nanny over there. I don't see anything else with her, but we're in the right spot. Now it's just a matter of finding, you know, a good billy in this basin. We saw them yesterday. It's just a matter of finding them again today. This one's tougher to tell. I can see 3 of them right now. Just watching this billy over here, been watching him now for probably 45 minutes or so. Same one we saw last night, I believe. He's got 2 big black patches on his rump. It's a long way away. I can't really see how long it is, but it's certainly a good billy. So, you know, you got to know exactly where he's laying down in order to be able to work your way there and get into position. So I think that we better make a move now. He's in a spot that I think that we can get at. It's really hard to say from up here, but we just have to cover some country. Okay, let's see how this goes. That billy is still bedded down. We've come off the top of the mountain. We're about half the distance now, but that nanny got up. She has 2 kids, and they've walked down the hill, and they're kind of cutting right in the direction that we want to travel. So not ideal. We still can make up probably another 500-600 yards here. She's traveling in the direction that we don't want her to be traveling right now. We can't spook her, because she'll just go straight uphill and right toward him. This is goat hunting. So I've closed the gap to about, I don't know, 1,000 yards or so, and now I can really see it. I just don't think it's old enough. Like, it's got a big blocky body and not great length of horn. And I just don't think that it's that old. So the pursuit will continue. We're just gonna carry camp now because it's just the fastest way to never have to go back to it. Just carry it with you and figure it out from there if you make it happen. So since this morning we've covered 3 large drainages. We've been kind of just keeping moving. We're on the march. We're gonna get up over onto that mountain, and we're gonna be looking at all new terrain. We've got everything packed up. We're completely moving out of that country. We think we've covered it really well. Now we're gonna head to the north and see what we can find over there. When you crest the top of a ridge and you got an expanse like we've got in front of us of all new terrain, it's pretty awesome. Haven't really had a good opportunity to get behind the glass yet, so we're just gonna find a good place to sit down so I can set up, and I think it'll be the next number of hours just sitting here, just picking all of this bush apart.